Hello guys, happy Saturday. I'm coming on with a quick question for you, and I want you to just contemplate this. I was just having a conversation. I just left a set for a photo shoot and video that I just did for one of our coaches and one of my friends, and so my makeup's all did. I'm all did up. But I was just talking about this with the makeup artist who was doing my makeup this morning, and I was saying how one of my very first experiences with love, my very first boyfriend, was just absolutely crazy about me. And at 13, guys, and he was like 16, this is puppy love, you know, but it set a standard in my life for what love is supposed to look like. And as I was talking to the makeup artist this morning, and I was telling him, you know, even at 13, the way that the 16-year-old boy loved me, was dedicated to me, was crazy about me, it set a standard in my life for what love should look like, what love should feel like. And as I really processed that theory, as I processed that kind of foundational thought, I began to think about those of you who have not had that experience, right? Do you really know what love looks like? Do you truly know what love is supposed to feel like? What it's supposed to look like? Do you know what love does? How love acts? Do you even know how love is supposed to treat you? Do you really know what love looks like? And sometimes, if we really get honest, guys, if I'm listening and I'm thinking over the years with all of my coaching clients, to be honest, many of you have not had healthy, loving experiences, right? Healthy, loving, dedicated people in your life that really, truly love you. Even if we take it to parental love, family love, right? A lot of the time we're born into situations where your mother or your father, right, loved you, but didn't necessarily, they had all their own issues. They had all their own stuff going on. They loved you and raised you to the best of their ability, but they had all their own junk, right? And so that wasn't even a really good example, right, of what real, true, healthy love looks like. So when it comes to dating, so this is a dating advice video, guys. This is a relationship love video. When it comes to dating, if you have not established and have a deep understanding of what true, healthy love looks like, then you have no point of reference, right? This is how we can end up recreating and repeating cycles of toxic love, abuse, right? Because you don't even really know what love looks like. Your standards and your preferences are based on toxic or unhealthy love, and you think that's normal. So when you initially meet someone, you're initially going in and you're not even seeing all the red flags that someone else would see. This is why I say a lot of people's pickers are off, right? There's signs, red flags, all kinds of stuff from the very beginning, but because what is normal for you is not healthy. What you've established as normal, what you've established as this is just love, that's not true. And for those of you who have not, I'm asking this question because back to our self-awareness, right? If you look at your life, guys, and this is for the guys and the fellas, the guys and the ladies. If you look at your life and your role models didn't have healthy love, your relationship experiences, right, were not with healthy people. If you've never had someone love you in a healthy, right? But if everything you've ever experienced concerning love and relationships has been selfish, self-serving, abusive, toxic, right? If that's all you've experienced, you're going to have to begin to dig deep and start peeling back some layers, because guess what? You don't know what real love looks like. You don't know what healthy, true love looks like. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Because guess what? Some of you are trauma bonding. Some of you have so much trauma that you've experienced and you call it love. Because now we have the same traumas in common and it makes us feel compatible. But you get with people who have literally the same toxic patterns as you, and you call it love because it feels like home. It feels natural. It feels organic. You could meet somebody right now. If you're not doing a self-awareness check in this area, you could meet somebody right now who's healthy, wonderful, incredible, and is ready to love your socks off. But you could be looking at them like, she's okay. He's okay. He just doesn't do it for me. She doesn't do it for me. It's boring. But what you may not realize is you're used to drama. You're used to trauma. You're used to all these highs and lows of people taking you all up, down, sideways. There's always a problem. There's always an issue. There's always an argument. There's always a complaint. There's always something wrong. It's always highs and lows. Make up. You break up to make up. You break up to make up. And maybe you're repeating patterns that were established in your childhood. Maybe you grew up in a volatile home. Maybe one of your parents was on drugs. Maybe one of your parents had mental health issues, right? And so you're used to all this craziness and upheaval. You're used to moving in the middle of the night. You're used to people yelling. So guess what? Guess what's not normal for you? If that's normal, peace. Peace isn't normal for you. If you're someone who has been conditioned and programmed to think that upheaval is normal. I Love Bob Marley says you become addicted to the patterns. You become addicted to abuse. I want you to stop and really stop and think about some things today. I want you to think about your childhood. I want you to think about patterns in your childhood. I want you to think about things that were not normal. Take a step back and think about your upbringing. Think about your early experiences. Think about the conditioning and the programming that it put in place to say this is just life. I guarantee you, if you analyze some of these areas of your life, guys, you're going to start and realize, like, I don't think right about love. I don't think right about women. I don't think right about men. I don't think right. My expectations, right? My father, at 8 years old, his stepfather killed his mother and then killed himself in front of my father. At 8 years old, murder-suicide. He was then bounced around from family to family, running away, getting into trouble, falling in with the wrong crowd, committing crimes from the time he was 8. Okay? Now, by the time he's in his 20s, 30s, he's given his life to God. He's never had counseling, never had therapy, no coaching. This didn't even exist back in these days. So my mother, coming from a very stable home, right, marries my father by the time they're in their 30s, married. In married life, my dad did not feel comfortable with peace. My mother's the glue that's holding everything together. She's the stable one, right? Consistently working, consistently planning, consistently, right? But my dad's over here, the wild card. Never happy. Never content. When things are going too good, he's got to sabotage it because he's so afraid that it's going to go bad anyway. Anything that goes good for too long is too good to be true, because in his life, he had a track record, a habit. He was conditioned to upheaval, conditioned to trauma, conditioned right? And even before his mother died, partying, drinking, stuff going on, not stable. His parents got a divorce when he was just a little boy, all over the place. So now he's a grown man, has children of his own, has this amazing wife and woman, but he can't accept the blessing. He can't accept the peace. He can't accept the stability. He can't accept the consistency. He was always trying to move us. He was always trying to do a new job, something else. I'm going to do this now. I want to move here, right? He didn't like plans. He wanted everything to be spontaneous because in his life, his programming said, you do things spare of the moment. You don't plan things. Nothing's planned. So my mom would plan vacations. I'm not going. Last minute. I'm not going. I don't want to go. You guys go. You and the girls go. My mom spent a lot of time with just me and my sister, taking us places, giving us experiences. My dad's just opting out, sitting at home, being depressed, being a loner, right? Why? Because he had mental health issues rooted in trauma that said you don't fit in, this can't last, you're not good enough. Eventually your wife's going to leave you. She's going to see you for who you are. She doesn't love you. You got mommy issues. You got daddy issues. You got mental health issues. You got all this stuff going on with my dad, guys. Love my dad to death. Love him to pieces. An anointed man. Gifted spiritually. Geniusly intelligent. But he never got help. Never. Knew the Bible frontwards and backwards. But he was traumatized. He had issues. He didn't even know what healthy love was supposed to look like. His biggest struggle with my mother was never feeling good enough. She came from a good family. She came from money. She came from this solid family. He came from the wrong side of the tracks. He never felt good enough. He never felt like he could fit in. So he would do all these things to sabotage. Why? That was his normal. That was his normal, guys. Right? And literally, some of the things I had to deprogram. My mom was an enabler. My mom would do too much. She would pick up the slack. She was constantly standing in the gap for my dad. She was constantly never holding him accountable to do his stuff that he needed to do for himself. So she's overcompensating with him, overcompensating with the kids. She's working herself to death. She's stressed out, right? And then on top of that, he has the nerve to not even be faithful, has a child on the side. Why? Because he's looking for validation everywhere but between him and God, right? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever enough. So now she's tolerating infidelity, right? Tolerating abuse, emotional abuse. I'm just telling you the real stuff. So now I learn from my mother as a role model, it's okay if somebody's not holding up their end of the bargain. It's okay if you're working harder than them. It's okay if they're only bringing 20% to the table and you're the other 80%. So what did I do in my marriages before Carrie? What did I do? Go in, overcompensate, do too much. Then they fall back. Now they're entitled. And then that's a vicious cycle, right? Of enabling. And when I married Carrie and I saw myself starting to do it again, I had to stop. I'm going to get the same exact results if I keep repeating this behavior. You guys, when it comes to love, he was a Sagittarius, Danny. You nailed it. So natural personality traits on top of trauma, on top of issues, right? And notice what I'm saying, guys. I had to get therapy. I had to get coaching. I had to really dig deep. I had to meditate. I had to read books. I had to study these personality traits. This is the next week that we're going into in the Work Masterclass. We're going into the personality traits that are caused by trauma. the things that you look at as normal or just part of your personality that are not your natural state. It's not healthy. This is not how God just created you. People pleasing, enabling, passive aggressive behavior. All of those are trauma responses, guys. Trauma response. All of it is built in you experiencing pain, hurt, trauma, rejection, to where you develop this personality trait as a response to try to protect yourself. To try to protect yourself. So if your normal is not healthy, you don't even really know that until you start doing the work, until you start digging in, until you start peeling back the layers. And for me, I tried hypnosis? Nope, I've never tried it, babe. I had to literally get honest with myself. What am I doing that is causing me to have the same results again and again? And I don't want these results. I don't want my mom's results in this area. Love my mom to pieces. She was amazing. Gave me a wonderful childhood. But do I want her results in this area? Do I want her relationship results? Do I want her marriage results? I don't want those results. What do I have to change? What am I doing wrong? Because at the end of the day, you've got to look in the mirror and be willing to look at yourself and say, there's something I'm doing. If I keep having the same experience again and again, it's not everybody else. It's something I'm doing. You got to be willing to look in the mirror and look at yourself. If you keep getting the same response, the same results, if you keep getting the same type of person, just in a different body, guess what? You're choosing that. You're attracting that. You're entertaining that. You think that's normal. You think that's right for you. Do you still coach men? No, I do not coach one-on-one anymore, guys. We just do our courses. We just do courses. Shasta, hi, sweetheart. Hello, hello, hello. Right? So that's what I'm saying to you today, guys. Take a look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror. Start asking yourself some hard questions. If you're not being respected, why are you not being respected? Why do people not respect you? Why are you respected in your professional life but not in your personal life? Why are people disrespecting you? Why are people not honoring you? Why aren't people appreciating you? Why aren't you attracting people that love you? You know you're a phenomenal, wonderful person. Hello in Singapore, right? You know that you're a wonderful person. You know that you have so much to give. Why is it you seem to attract these experiences that don't appreciate you? Why do you attract these people that don't love you the way you want to be loved? Or why is it something can start out so good? Right? Why is it that something can start out so good, and when someone's first getting to know you, they're treating you the way you want to be treated, and you think everything's going great, but then it switches as they get to know you? Why does it start to change? Why is it always ends up in the same place where you're not being treated the way you want to be treated? Right? Can you suggest a one-on-one coach? This is Rich, and I'm writing you from Mexico on my vacay, but yes, this is great. Carrie, my husband, Rich, you can reach out to him. There's going to be a link in this video. You can reach out for him. He still does one-on-one coaching. But yeah, guys, you're going to have to ask yourself some hard questions, because there's something you're repeating. There's some things you're doing. There's a reason why you're having the experiences you're having and other people are not. There's a reason that people treat you the way they do and not other people. Everyone's not a narcissist. Everyone isn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like we look for scapegoats. We want to just blame other people. Oh, they're like this. I attracted another narcissist. I did da. Not all the time. No. It's about you. It's about what you're allowing. It's about what you say is normal. Right? What you say is normal. Do you know what love looks like? Do you know what true, healthy love looks like? Do you even know what that looks like? Or can you even accept it if it comes? Do you know how to even receive healthy love? Do you even know what it feels like, what it looks like, what it should look like? Some of you keep accepting trash because trash is all you know. Some of you keep accepting disrespect because disrespect is all you know. Who am I talking to today? That's right. He says we aid our self-inflictions because that is our version of life and love. He said it so well, guys. So well. Can you tell us what it looks like? True love looks like patience, kindness, understanding. When someone loves you guys, guess what? They're not selfish. They're trying to do for you the way you do for them. It's everything that when you look at and you say, love is patient, love is kind, love is caring, right? It's very tolerant. It's not leaving you just over anything. It's trying to see the good in you, right? It's looking at you and saying, giving you the benefit of the doubt. It's listening to you, getting to know you, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. Yes, Rebecca, mutual respect. Mutual respect. It's reciprocation. It's literally mutual, guys. Mutual. They want to listen. They want to understand. Yes, Will, childhood traumas and shadow work is so vital to growth and growing out of pain. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's why we have the Work Masterclass, right? Yes, Unique Beauty, a constant cycle of creating more. So guess what? As Carrie and I are loving each other, guys, it continues to grow and grow. He's loving on me and listening to me, and I'm loving on him and listening to him. We're getting to know each other more and more and more. And you fall more in love with each other because it's mutual, because we care about each other. It's based, true love looks like friendship. If some of you would start to use friendship as a guideline, a foundation for romantic relationships, you would be guided so much better if you start to think of friendship. Lala, is it too late to sign up for the Work Masterclass? It's still open, guys, but we're going into our 3rd week. So you can sign up, definitely. But I think what I'll do is set it up so it'll drip to you so you can't just jump right into all, because you need to take your time with each week. A constant desire to build something meaningful together, mutual values and vision. And also, guys, it has so much more to do with compatibility of energy, compatibility of direction, compatibility. Right, friendship, Renugu, friendship. Think about friendships, guys. With friendship, do you have to be exactly alike? Do you have to agree about everything in friendship? It's not like you're twins. It's just that you respect each other. You respect each other's opinions. You love each other. You enjoy each other's company. What happens when that person doesn't want to seek help? I'm 35 years in marriage. Oh, sweetheart. Listen, I recently had a former client reach out to me. She needed an emergency session with me. And she's just in a situation where she's getting ready to get married again. And the man doesn't want any counseling, no premarital counseling, and they already have issues and they haven't even gotten married. And I said, don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. At the end of the day, if you are dealing with somebody who is not willing to work on themselves, there's no direction for it to go but down. If someone won't be accountable for their issues and what they're bringing to the table, what can you do with that, guys? And you're someone who's doing your work. You're someone who's actively getting counseling and coaching and reading and always working on being a better you. It's like the prime definition of being unequally yoked. You're over here doing what it takes for you to be a better person, but you're with somebody who will not do that, who just simply refuses to do that. If I were you, sweetheart, I'm back to the marriage head and L, I would make it a requirement Either you get some help and work on this, or this is not going to work. I'm out. And then see what he does. Because it's over anyway. It doesn't matter about how many years. You can't waste the rest of your life being unhappy because somebody else is miserable. So at the end of the day, it's over anyway. And you have to make up your mind. Either he really values you and loves you and is willing to do what it takes for himself in order to be a good partner, or he's not. But you're not going to let somebody ruin your life. Will says, wow, that is the very thing I share with my new friend. She hates when I say friend, but I want her to be my friend so I can be vulnerable. Wisdom, sweetheart. That's wisdom. Listen, if more people looked at it that way, and if you haven't expressed it to her like that, you say, listen, we're getting to know each other. Can I see a future, potential future for us? Yes, but I want to focus on us being connected because I need to be able to be vulnerable with you. If we really want to have something strong and real, I got to be able to talk to you like a best friend. Tell her that. Tell her that. That'll go a long way. Luzolo says, stop trying being 100 with everyone and be 100 with yourself. Being accountable has taught me to be wiser with words, promises, action, and disappointment. Ask yourself, how did I put myself here? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. How did I put myself here? And guys, I watched my mother, and I'm going to end with this. I'm going to wrap up. I watched my mother sacrifice herself on the altar of love. She sacrificed her life in dedication to my father. She should have left him. I remember being about 21. And I'm still the same Rebecca that I am now, right? I'm just keep it real. And I said to my mom, Mom, you need to leave Daddy. You need to leave Daddy. Daddy's never going to change. He refuses to get help. He refuses to work on himself. He blames you for everything. And guys, listen, I have no conflict about this. I love my daddy. I was a daddy's girl. I'm a daddy's girl. I love my daddy. But I would not have wanted to be married to my daddy. There's no way I would have stuck around married to him with the way how crazy and toxic he was. Couldn't do it. I wouldn't have done it. And my mother ended up getting cancer. She ended up dying, fought cancer for 10 years. Because guess what, guys? And this is back to the woman who's been married for 35 years. You don't realize when you're tolerating all this bullshit that it's building up inside of your body. That mind, body, and spirit is all connected. It's all connected. And that the bitterness and sadness and then the unforgiveness and the disappointments and the resentments and just everything that you're going through in these toxic relationships is building up inside of you. Do you know something like 78% of people with cancer have deep-rooted issues of unforgiveness or unresolved pain? My mom got cancer. It's the cancer is the byproduct of bad stress. My mother ended up dying. Do you know that my mom was in her last year of life and she was trying to leave my dad? She was finally trying to leave my dad the last year of her life. And cancer took her out, guys. She never even really lived. She spent so much of her life all tolerating my dad at the center of her life. You can't have somebody crazy at the center of your life. You can't be relying on somebody who's unstable, doesn't know who they are, struggling. You can't make them the center of your life. You can't build a life with somebody who's always unhappy. My mom did it, guys. And I watched her die. She could have had an amazing life. How old was she? My mother was 68 when she passed. 68, I think. She passed in, 68. Not that old. And she was the youngest of 8 children, and no one else in her family's ever had that cancer, and the cancer doesn't run in their family. She was the youngest of 8 and one of the first ones to die. Lady Gabby, you hit the nail on the head. She says, wow, I see where your passion for healthy relationships come from, Rebecca. I came to that realization too a few years ago, Lady Gabby. I was like, I'm trying to save my mom and I'm trying to save my dad. The work I do is dedicated to the education and the things that it takes to not have what happened to my parents, what I watched them go through. And you know, there's statistics, there's research that says that we try to right the wrongs of our parents. But yeah, so guys, listen. Do you know what love looks like? Are you willing to do your work? I made up my mind. As guys, when I say my parents and I were like the three musketeers, I had a sister who died when I was 10, who was 18. So it ended up just being my mom, my dad, and I. And when I say we were so tight, my family was a loving family. I mean, I come from a big, loving family. And when I say we were so close, yeah, my dad was toxic. He was crazy. But the root of it was my mom. My mom was the glue. And when I look at them, I had to get to the place as a mature woman that I had to say, I love my parents, but I'm unwilling to repeat their patterns. I'm unwilling to die unfulfilled. I'm unwilling to die with regrets. I want to live my best life. And I think that a lot of the sacrifices, especially that my mother made, a lot of what my mother sowed into me was wanting me to do better, wanting me to have better. My mother, I mean, guys, she sowed self-love and sowed confidence in me. She told me every day growing up, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. She taught me self-confidence before self-confidence was even a thing. And as I've done the work to deprogram, right, all of the messy stuff that I learned from her and my father, I had to get to that place where I could separate my love for them. But I had to be able to critically look at their behavior, their patterns, and say, this is what I have to change. I can't repeat this or I'm going to have their results. And as much as I love them, I don't want their results. I don't want to die of cancer. I don't want to be miserable in a relationship. I don't want to lose myself in toxic love, right? I don't want that for me. Life is food. Just because it looks good and is delicious doesn't mean it's healthy for you. Lizolo, that is a really great quote, honey. You're welcome, Miss Key. Listen, guys, I gotta run. I love you guys. I just wanted to come on and share a little bit of stories, share a little bit what was on my mind. Because I said to the makeup artist when he was doing my makeup this morning, I said, I thought back to that very first relationship when I was 13. And guys, Rob was his name. And I said to the makeup artist, I said, you know, if Rob didn't give me nothing else at 13, he gave me that first experience that was very loving and a dedicated little, you know, he was young, but a good guy, right? A good guy that was absolutely crazy about me. And that set the standard for my life. Whenever someone was into me or I was dating someone, they're like, I like you. And I'm like, no, you ain't acting like Rob. You ain't really into me. I hear what your mouth's saying, but you're not really into me. You don't really like me like that. Because I know what this is supposed to look like, right? I know what this is supposed to look like. I know how it feels when someone's really into you and loves you. And even though that was puppy love, guys, it's a basic standard. They say when someone loves you, they care about you, they listen to you, they're kind, they're patient. I got sick right after I met Rob. And I was very, very sick. And he was there. I mean, at 16, he was a good guy. At 16 and 13, he was a good guy. Loving and kind and good to me and loving me just like I did before I was sick. What? At 13 and 16? Like, I think he probably would have married me by the time I was 18. You know what I mean? Like, literally, guys, the way he was at 16. People are who they are. Even when they're younger, they're showing you who they are. I'm just saying, guys. It's a standard, Tara. That's right, sweetheart. It sets a standard. Carrie's the same type of man. He, in his 50s, right? No different than that guy, Rob. I married somebody like Rob. How many years later? I married my Rob. How many years later? Carries same heart, same treatment, right? All right, guys, listen, we are working on the Rebecca Lynn Pope live show. If you want to be a guest on the show, come on, tell your stories and get some live coaching. Make sure you email me at live@RebeccaLynnPope.com. Applications are open to become a certified abundant life coach. Make sure you sign up above. If you're wanting to start your own professional abundant life coaching business, make sure you click the link up above. I told you yesterday, that's not for everybody, right? Make sure you, if you want to start a professional coaching business, that you click that link. That starts August 16th. The Work Masterclass as an e-course is coming back around. You'll be able to come in and be able to do the videos and the workbooks so you can start doing your work as well. And the link to work with Carrie one-on-one, Will, you were asking for that. It's going to be in the link up above as well. All right, guys. Blessings and abundance. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.